Shalom Israel, Shalom Israel. With the IHBK, start out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana. I'm Priest Officer of 50 Karanya Island, and welcome to another installment of Nothing New Under the Sun. Today we're going to talk about gun control, right? And the racist origins of gun control, right? A lot of people don't understand that. Well, not so I cannot understand. A lot of people don't know that there is actual accounts in the scriptures of a nation of people basically trying to monitor weapons of another people so they won't be able to defend themselves if a war breaks out, right? And that's essentially what gun control is about. You understand? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you the history. Not all of the history for time's sake, but a little piece of the history of both of these nations, one being the Israelites and one being the Philistines. And I'm gonna give you a little piece of the history on basically like how these two people dealt with each other over the years and how the Philistines actually tried to control the weapons that the Israelites had. All right. So without further ado, let's get into these scriptures. Oh yeah, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. If you new to the channel, or Slakia, not if you're new to the channel, but if you're working on getting your Hebrew name, make sure you put your name, city, and state so we can mark you down for attendance so you can get closer to getting that Hebrew name and shedding yourself of the world. And pay your tithes. It's a commandment. You understand? So we're going to get it in. Let's go to Genesis 15 and 18. Okay, this is the book of Genesis, chapter 15 and verse 18. In the same day, the Lord made a covenant with Abraham, saying, unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the Euphrates, unto the great river, the river Euphrates. Right now, to give you a little bit of history on what's going on right now, Abraham has entered into a covenant with the Most High God. You understand? And the Lord is so pleased with Abraham that he told Abraham, look, I'm gonna give this land that you sojourning in to your descendants, right? Let me read that again. In the same day, the Lord made a covenant with Abraham, saying, unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates, right? So this land that the Lord is promising to the descendants of Abraham, which is going to be the children of Israel in the future, this land that's being promised to the children of Israel is called the land of Canaan, right? This is the land where the Canaanites dwell. You understand? And who the Canaanites were? They were a family of the son of Ham, one of Noah's 3 sons, right? Noah's son Ham had 4 sons. So like, let me get the definition for Ham, right? This is just the Wikipedia definition, right? Ham, according to the table of nations in the book of Genesis, was the second son of Noah and the father of Cush, Mizraim, Phut, and Canaan, right? Now, the Cushites today are the people of Ethiopia, Djibouti, and Salaki. What was that other country? Somalia. Those are the Cushites. Mizraim is actually the Egyptians, right? Foot, I believe, is Salakia. Foot. I can't remember off top what the who the people of Foot are today, and then the Canaanites are the people of South Africa, right? So the land of Canaan is a land inhabited by the Hamitic tribe of Canaan, right? Which one of these tribes of Canaan would be the Philistines. This is where you get the name of Palestine from. You understand? It actually comes from the Philistines, right? So the Lord promised the land of Canaan to Abraham's descendants, which will later be the children of Israel, right? So I'm gonna drop that and let's get to Genesis 20, right? And I'm just trying to give y'all a little bit of history. You understand? I'm trying to give y'all some context on basically like why the Israelites were in the land of Canaan and why this weapon control situation happened. You understand? Now, of course, we know back then in ancient biblical times, there was no such thing as a pistol or a rifle. So your gun would be a sword. You understand? This is the book of Genesis, chapter 20 and verse 14. And Abimelech took sheep and oxen and men servants and women servants and gave them unto Abraham and restored him Sarah, his wife. Now, quick context about this situation that was going on. So Abimelech was a Philistine king, right? Now, what happened was Abraham had a wife named Sarah, right? And him walking through these lands of these Canaanites or these Africans, he understood that they didn't fear the Lord and they would kill him for his wife. So basically, he went around telling certain people, like, man, yeah, that's my sister, which he was not lying. She is a sister of his because she comes from the same nation as him. Just like in the ISUBK, we'll call a brother that's in our same nation that not necessarily the brother of your mother, but it's a brother of your father, meaning your forefather. You understand? I mean, or not Slocky, not a son of your mother, but a son of your father, meaning your forefather, right? So Abraham basically told a couple of these prominent kings that, look, man, yeah, this is my sister right here. Just so the brothers wasn't trying to kill him for her. Now, Sarah never had sex with another man because that's adultery. And we understand that this is against the law, even in the time of Abraham. You understand? And this is why Abraham was telling these heathens that, look, she my sister, because he understands that they don't fear God. So if you don't fear God, you're not going to follow the rules of God. And one of the rules of God is you can't commit adultery with another man's wife. So he understood that these people don't have the laws that he has, right? He understood. So he understood that these people would most likely kill him for his wife because he has a beautiful wife and they don't give a damn about the rules of God, right? Verse 15. And Abimelech said, behold, my land is before thee. Dwell where it. Quick sidebar too, what I forgot to just bring out. The Lord actually came to Abimelech in his dream, like, look, bro, this dude wife, you understand? You go ahead and get this man his wife back and spare his life, bro, because that's my guy. I deal with him directly. You understand? And Salakia. Let me see. I'm gonna go ahead and read that for y'all. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 20 and verse 3. But God came to Abimelech in a dream by night and said to him, behold, thou art but a dead man, for the woman which thou hast taken, for she is a man's wife. So the Lord like, look, bro, I'm ready to put you to death because you just took a man's wife from him. You understand? Now he didn't necessarily lay with the sister yet, but he like, bro, you a dead man, basically. Like I'm going to kill you if you do not return this man's wife back, right? Verse 4, but Abimelech had not come near her. And he said, Lord, wilt thou slay also a righteous nation? So the scripture right there just said Abimelech ain't lay with her. He like, man, look, you gonna slay me for a righteous nation? Like man, look, I thought this was the brother's sister. I didn't know this was his wife. And I didn't even lay with her, right? Verse 5. Said he not unto me, she is my sister, and she even herself said, he is my brother, and the integrity of my heart and innocency of my hands have I done this. So he pleading with the Lord, like, look, man, please don't kill me. They already told me that they was brother and sister. I didn't even know what the hell they had going on. I literally thought this woman was this man's wife, right? So basically that's what happened, right? And he returned Sarah back to Abraham, right? And on top of that, this is also what he did. Verse 14, once again, Genesis 20:14, once again. And Abimelech took sheep and oxen and men servants and maid servants and gave them unto Abraham and restored him Sarah his wife. Not only did he give him back Sarah, but the Lord put the spirit on him to basically give his brother some wealth. You understand? He made right by the brother by restoring him his wife and doing extra for him by giving him these animals. You understand? Which was wealth at that time, right? Verse 15. And Abimelech said, behold, my land is before thee. Dwell where it pleaseth thee. Now, the Lord then already promised the land of Canaan to Abraham. You understand? But Abimelech like, look, man, this is my land, bro. You can live wherever the hell you want to. Take these sheep, these oxen, you understand? These men servants and women servants, and go live wherever you want to, right? And verse 16, and unto Sarah he said, behold, I have given thy brother 1,000 pieces of silver. Behold, he is thee a covenant of the eyes unto all that are with thee, and with all other. Thus she was reproved. So not only did he give him Salakia, not only did Abimelech give Abraham oxen, sheep, men servants, and maid servants, he also gave him 1,000 pieces of silver. He also gave him some money. You understand? So the Lord blessed Abraham with some wealth after this situation happened. You understand? I'm gonna drop that, right? Then we're gonna go to Genesis 23 and 27, right? This Salakia. Salakia. Hold on, give me 1 second. Salakia, not Genesis 23 and 27. Exodus 23 and 27. Oh, give me 1 second. Salakia, Israel. And we're going to go to Exodus 23 and 27. And it's the book of Exodus, chapter 23 and verse 27. I will send my fear before thee and will destroy all the people to whom thou shalt come, and I will make all thine enemies turn their back unto thee. Verse 28. And I will send hornets before thee, which shall drive out the Hivite, the Canaanite, and the Hittite from before thee. Verse 29. I will not drive them out from before thee in 1 year, lest the land become desolate and the beasts of the field multiply against thee. Verse 30. By little and little I will drive them out from before thee, until thou be increased and inherit the land. Verse 31. And I will set thy bounds from the Red Sea even unto the sea of the Philistines, and from the desert unto the river. For I will deliver the inhabitants of the land into your hand, and thou shalt drive them out from before thee. Now, this is fast forwarded to the time of Moses, right? Now, remember, the Lord promised the land of the Philistines to the descendants of Abraham, which is going to be the children of Israel in the future, right? And the Lord is telling Moses here in the book of Exodus, look, I'm about to deliver these people into your hand little by little. This is going to be your land. I'm going to establish y'all as a people, and this is going to be your homeland. I already promised it to Abraham. This is what y'all gonna have because of my covenant with Abraham. You understand? And the Lord said, the Lord said He ain't gonna drive them out in 1 day. Then the land become desolate, and the beasts of the field just multiply and devour the children of Israel. Now I'm gonna do it little by little. Over time, y'all gonna be able to subdue these people and get these people out of this land over time. That was the plan. You understand? And the plan was for us to not make any covenants with them. We wasn't supposed to take their women to marry, none of that type of stuff. But as we know from history, the plan didn't go smooth sailing how it was supposed to go, because Israel, we're stiff-necked people. You understand? So I'm gonna drop that. Let's get to the book of Judges, chapter 13. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. You attended the class trying to get your Hebrew name, put your name, city, and state so we can mark you down for attendance. Pay your tithe. All right. This is the book of Judges, chapter 13 and verse 1. And the children of Israel did evil again in the sight of the Lord. Like I said, look, Israel, we're stiff-necked people. We did evil again in the sight of the Lord. You understand? And the Lord delivered them into the hand of the Philistines 40 years. So look, at this time in Judges, the Philistines have dominion over the children of Israel for 40 years. And this conflict between us and the Philistines lasted damn near a century. You understand? Right? Okay, I'm going to drop that. Let's go into the book of 1 Samuel chapter 4. And what I'm basically doing is I'm just giving you a brief history of us, the children of Israel, and the Philistines, and basically like what type of relationship we had over the years. You understand? Okay, it's the book of 1 Samuel chapter 4 and 1. And the word of Samuel came to all Israel. Now Israel went out against the Philistines to battle and pitched beside Ebenezer, and the Philistines pitched in Aphek. Now, so what's going on right now is, once again, we going into another battle against the Philistines. You understand? And by the way, we didn't actually conquer the Philistines and get them out of our land until King David became king. But from the time that we came out of Egypt into the land of Canaan, all the way up until King David was king, it was always conflict between us and the Philistines, right? Verse 2, and the Philistines put themselves in array against Israel. When they joined battle, Israel was smitten before the Philistines, and they slew of the army in the field about 4,000 men. See, the Lord is not with the children of Israel through a lot of these times that we fighting against the Philistines, because we not doing what the Lord is telling us to do. You understand? The Lord is showing us, man, look, y'all niggas ain't listening, so I'm gonna have to whoop you just like a good father would. You understand? And these skirmishes and wars and battles with these Philistines, it went on for a long amount of time. You understand? Because, like I said, Israel, we're stiff-necked people. You understand? Right? Let me drop that, and then I'm gonna go to 1 Samuel chapter 13 and verse 19. And this is going to be the point of the whole class. Now you got to understand, we lived in the land of Canaan at this time, and the Philistines, they not actually respecting that we supposed to have this land because it's given to us by God. They don't give a damn about God. They don't give a damn about us or our power that we serve. All they know is this is their land. The Lord has given us into their hands a number of times because we don't listen to the Lord. And what they're going to do is rule over us with an iron fist, like how they think they're supposed to do. You understand? And the reason why I'm giving you all the history of it, because you got to understand how a person can control, how a people can control another people, and the type of food instruments they have. Like anything that we have, if we ruled over by another nation will be able to control what we can and can't do, what type of weapons we have, what type of food is distributed out to us, as far as like being in America. But if you are in a land with another people and another people are ruling that land, naturally you're going to be subjected unto those people. And the fact that we was basically subjected to the Philistines was the reason why they could control our weapons. You understand? So let me get 1 Samuel chapter 13. Let me see where I want to start at. Yeah, I'm going to just go straight to 19. This is the book of 1 Samuel chapter 13 and verse 19. Now there was no smith found throughout all the land of Israel, for the Philistines said, lest the Hebrews make them swords or spears. Now, the reason why we don't have, so like, let's look up that word smith. Smith, a worker of metal. You understand? A smith is a person who deals with making items out of metal, right? You got a locksmith, you got gunsmiths. Back in these times, these were people who made swords and knives and you understand, certain instruments that you would use that's made out of metal. The Philistines actually said, look, we not finna allow these Hebrews to have a smith in their land. You understand? Because the Philistines, they understood how to make weapons. They had smiths. Us, we coming out of Egypt, all we did was basically build up the land of Egypt for the Egyptians. You understand? We don't necessarily have the same type of skills as another people that has been already established, to where if they got to go to war, they have people in their nation that can build weapons like that. We don't have that as far as being the children of Israel. We don't have smiths. We got to go to another nation of people to get these type of instruments done for us. And the Philistines taking crafty counsel against us, like, man, look, we can't allow these niggas to have a smith in their lands, because if a war break out between us and them, these niggas gonna have swords and they gonna be able to go to war with us. They gonna be able to actually put up a fight with us if we allow people in their lands to basically either make weapons for them or show them how to make weapons, right? Verse 20. But all the Israelites went down to the Philistines to sharpen every man his share and his coulter and his axe and his mattock. So basically, what we had to do was, since we don't have smiths of our own, and they're not going to teach us how to do this, and they're not going to do it for us. We'll just have to go to the Philistines and basically pay them to sharpen a weapon, a knife, or something that we need to survive. You understand? So I'm gonna drop that, and I got a couple articles that I want to read. You understand? All right, Salaki, bear with me, Israel. Okay, this first article, and the source is thehill.com. And the title of the article is The Racist Origin of Gun Control Laws. You understand? Now, the title is self-explanatory, and they're going to talk about the origins of gun control because they don't want, just like in the days of old, like I just read in the book of 1 Samuel, how these Philistines didn't want the Israelites to be able to defend themselves. What you need? What do you need? Just like the children of Israel back in those times weren't allowed to have smiths. Basically, this is the origins of gun control in the scriptures, right? And what I'm going to read to you in this article, they're going to tell you exactly the origins of gun control in America and how it is about race, just like the Philistines didn't want us to have guns because I'm slacking, not guns, swords or weapons of war, so we can be able to defend our nation. You understand? And this article, like I said, is coming from the sources, thehill.com. Okay, and it says, guns have historically protected Americans from white supremacists, just as gun control has historically protected white supremacists from the Americans they terrorize. You understand? Like, guns, America, Edomites, they go hand in hand. You understand? A white supremacist has protection from his gun. Those same Americans that white supremacists terrorize have protection from their guns. You understand? 1 month after the Confederate surrender in 1865, Frederick Douglass urged federal action to stop state and local infringement of the right to arms. Until this was accomplished, Douglass argued the work of the abolitionists is not finished, right? So Frederick Douglass, right? It says, urge federal action to stop state and local infringement of the right to arms, right? Now let's look up that word infringement. Infringement. The action of breaking the terms of a law agreement, right? So Frederick Douglass, like, man, look, Frederick Douglass urged federal action to stop state and local infringement of the right to arms. He basically he's basically urging that the government, look, y'all stop basically going against the law where it says people have the right to bear arms. You understand? We want guns, right? Okay. And it says, until this was accomplished, Douglass argued the work of the abolitionists is not finished, right? Indeed, it was not, as the special report of Paris Anti-Slavery Conference of 1867 found, freedmen in some southern states were forbidden to own or bear firearms, and thus were rendered defenseless against assault. So Frederick Douglass, he like, man, look, check this out, bro. Y'all basically are breaking the law by making by not letting freed men to be able to own guns. He was basically trying to push for free black slaves to be able to bear arms like they Edomite counterparts, right? Thus, white supremacists could continue to control freedmen through threat of violence, right? So he understood, man, look, I'm a free man. It say I got the right to bear arms, but well, it says Americans have the right to bear arms, but I can't bear arms, or other ex-black slaves can't bear arms, right? And it says, thus white supremacists could control freedmen through threat of violence. So basically, these white supremacists was basically threatening freed men with violence because they knew that they can't defend themselves because they cannot own firearms, right? And this is literally the same thing that I just read in the book of 1 Samuel. These Philistines, right, understood, okay, we got a lot of weapons and a lot of swords. Y'all don't really have as much as we have. So we can basically we can go to war and slaughter a lot of y'all because we have more weapons than you guys have. You understand? And this is exactly the same approach that the Edomites of today in America took against freed black slaves, right? Okay, I'm gonna read on. Congress demolished these racist laws. The Freedmen's Bureau Bill of 1865, Civil Rights Act of 1866, and Civil Rights Act of 1870 each guaranteed all persons equal right of self-defense. Most importantly, the 14th Amendment ratified in 1868 made the Second Amendment applicable to the states, right? So basically, what happened was now the federal government made it they put it into law. Okay, look, these freed slaves, they can have guns. You understand? Now I'm gonna pull out another article later on in the class to show y'all how much of the Edomite, how much this devil actually doesn't go on his word, and it's really all of this is trickery. You understand? These Edomites want to control guns because they don't want the people that they enslaved and oppressed to be able to defend themselves against the same people that enslaved and oppressed them, right? Okay, let me see. Kansas Senator Samuel Pomeroy extolled the three indispensable safeguards of liberty under our form of government: the sanctity of the home, the right to vote, and the right to bear arms. So, if the cabin door of the freedman is broken open and the intruder enter, then should a well-loaded musket be in the hand of the occupant to send the polluted wretch to another world, right? Now, Kansas Senator Samuel Pomeroy extolled the three indispensable safeguards of liberty under form of government. So basically, this Edomite was like, man, look, we should be able to give these niggas guns to where they can be protected how we are protected. You understand? So like, I'm gonna read on. Because of the 14th Amendment, gun control laws now had to be racially neutral, right? So the only reason why these gun control laws has to be racially neutral for blacks and whites is because of the 14th Amendment, right? But states quickly learned to draft neutrally worded laws for discriminatory application. Tennessee and Arkansas prohibited handguns that the freedmen could have selected, prohibited handguns that the freedmen could afford, while allowing expensive Army and Navy handguns, which ex-Confederate officers already owned. So look how these devils work, right? They prohibited handguns that freedmen could afford, right? So what they did was, it was like, okay, you niggas can have guns, right? but y'all can't have them little pistols that I know y'all can afford. But all these high power weapons and stuff, what it say? Salaki. It says, while allowing expensive Army and Navy handguns, which ex-Confederate officers already own. Now, these Confederate officers that actually fought for niggas to continue to be slaves, these was the guns that these damn devils did not outlaw. The devils didn't outlaw them because they understood you freedmen can't afford these type of guns, and these white supremacist ex-Confederate soldiers, these niggas already got these guns. You see how the devil work? It's gun control. It's okay. Yeah, y'all free, man. The 14th Amendment say y'all can have guns. But in this state, you can only have this type of gun, which the gun I know you niggas can't afford, and these ex-Confederate soldiers already have. You understand? Reading on. The South Carolina law against concealed carry put blacks in chain gangs. You hear that? You can't even you back then when they was against conceal and carry. Salaki, I'm gonna read that again. The South Carolina law against concealed carry put blacks in chain gangs, but whites only paid a small fine, if anything. Man, look, if a nigga got caught with a concealed firearm back then, that nigga went to prison and had to work in them hot fields all over again, how we had to do in slavery. But if an Edomite did it, he paid a fine, right? That's basically about all he did. You understand? Slakia. In the early 20th century, such laws began to spread beyond the ex-Confederacy. An Ohio Supreme Court judge acknowledged that such statutes reflected a decisive purpose to entirely disarm the Negro, right? This Ohio Supreme Court judge understood that these laws and these tactics that certain states was using, this was literally to disarm Negroes. You understand? When lynching increased in the 1880s, the vice president of the National Colored Press Association, John R. Mitchell Jr., encouraged blacks to buy Winchesters to protect their families from the two-legged animals growling around your home in the dead of night. You understand? Look, this brother knew these damn devils was beasts, just like how the Lord likens them to be beasts. You understand? These people was animals. You understand? And the reason why they want to control the guns that we have, so they can keep oppressing us, so they can keep their foot on our necks, so they can keep us down, so we have no protection against these damn devils. And this is exactly what the Philistines did. Look, I'm gonna read it again. This the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 13 and verse 19. Now there was no smith found throughout all the land of Israel, for the Philistines said, lest the Hebrews make them swords or spears. Man, look, we not allowing those smiths to be around these niggas, or they gonna be able to make themselves swords and spears if we teach these niggas how to be smiths. You understand? So basically, this is gun control once again in the scriptures. You understand? They controlling the weapons that we have, so we cannot defend ourselves. You understand? Salakia. Let me see, where was I at? There we go. Ida B. Wells, the leading journalist opposing lynching, agreed. In the national circulated pamphlet, Southern Horrors, well-documented cases in Kentucky and Florida where the men armed themselves and fended off lynch mobs. The lesson this teaches, Wells wrote, is that a Winchester rifle should have a place of honor in every black home, and it should be used for the protection which the law refuses to give. So this sister Ida B. Wells, she like, man, look, these damn devils is out to get us. You understand? I know the law say we ain't supposed to have these guns, but at the same time, you got to protect your family, so get one. Now, in the UPK, we don't encourage illegal firearms by no means. You understand? If you want to obtain a firearm, you have to go through the proper procedures. You understand? And get your gun license and basically use your gun how the law allows you to use your gun. When I say the law, I mean the laws of America. You understand? You got to go through that background check. You got to go take your license, the test to go get your gun license. Do all of that. Obtain a firearm legally. We don't allow illegal firearms in the ISUPK whatsoever. This is not a hate group. We are not a criminal organization. You understand? Salakia. Right? Let's see. After the thwarted lynching in Florida, the state legislature enacted a law requiring a license to possess a pistol, Winchester rifle, or other repeating rifle. A Florida Supreme Court justice later explained the act was passed for the purpose of disarming the Negro laborers and was never intended to apply to white population, and in practice has never been so applied. You understand? The fact that they telling you that you have to get a license, Salakia. The fact that they telling you you have to get a license for a gun is literally so blacks do not get guns. You understand? That law was never put in place for these Edomites. They really don't give a damn if they, like, I believe it was last year. I'm pretty sure it was about last year, right? And me reading that these laws are not actually put in place for Edomites, but for us, it was something that happened last year. I believe it was like when the riots was going on, when there was rioting in certain cities. Now, you had an Edomite that just shot about 2 or 3 people. You understand? And he had a rifle, I believe it was either in his hand or on his back. You understand? These police officers allowed this damn Edomite to walk past their car with a visible firearm after he just shot a couple people and virtually did nothing to the man at first. You understand? Eventually they apprehended him and took him to jail. And I really don't know what's going on with that case, but that's neither here nor there. You understand? In the mind of these Edomites that run this country, having a gun, Edomite having a gun is his right. You understand? Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, us having a gun, whether it's legal or illegal, that's a death sentence for us if one of these damn Edomite cops see us with a gun. You understand? Like, you got Black, Latino, and Native American children that will get murdered by these damn police if they see you outside with a toy gun. You understand? But yet, meanwhile, they don't take this same approach with their own people, because these gun laws are not for Edomites. These gun laws are for Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. You understand? Okay, so Salakia. Yeah, let me just finish out this article, and then we're going to move on to the next one. Where was I at? Okay. Okay, here we go. Wow. Salakia. 1 second, bear with me. Okay, it says, while lynching began to decline in the early 20th century, race riots increased. According to historian John Dittmer, blacks fought back successfully when the mobs invaded their neighborhoods during the Atlanta riots in 1906, when police stood idle as 23 blacks were killed during riots resulting from a black man swimming into white water near Chicago. Blacks used rifles to kill 15 attackers. You understand? It's proven throughout history. If you have weapons to be able to defend yourself and your nation, it's going to even the playing field, right? During the Tulsa riot, Salakia, right? Let's dive a little bit deeper into this story. I'm going to read that one more time. While lynching began to decline in the early 20th century, race riots increased. Now that's heavy. While lynches began to decline in the early 20th century, race riots increased. Instead of them just coming to our neighborhoods and lynching us, Black people are getting weapons to be able to defend themselves. So it ain't really just, oh, they come and lynch on us. You understand? Now it's becoming race riots. They come do something to us, we will be able to defend our nation because we have firearms at this time, right? According to the historian John Dittmer, Blacks fought back successfully when the mobs invaded their neighborhoods. During the Atlantic riots, Blacks fought back successfully when the mobs invaded their neighborhoods. Man, look, if you got means to protect yourself and your nation, you understand? Protect yourself and your nation the proper way. You understand? And it says Blacks fought back successfully when mobs invaded their neighborhoods. We were successful in a lot of these race riots raged against us just for breathing, just for living. You understand? When police stood idle as 23 Blacks were killed during riots resulting from a Black man swimming into white water near Chicago. Blacks used rifles to kill 15 attackers. Instead of these damn Edomites just coming through and slaughtering us like how they want to, in this instance, they killed 23 of our brothers and sisters, right? But since we had rifles and guns to be able to defend ourselves, we at least killed 15 of them. You understand? And this is why these Edomites want gun control in America. It's to disarm Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans so we can't even be able to defend ourselves against a nation who just wants to slaughter us. You understand? Reading on. During the Tulsa race riot in 1921, whites, with government approval, burned down a square mile of the prosperous district nicknamed Black Wall Street, killing 200 Blacks. There would have been more devastation had Blacks not fought back, killing 50 of their attackers. Now, this article just said it would have been worse in Tulsa, Oklahoma, if we wasn't able to defend ourselves with the guns that we had, resulting in us killing 50 of them while they took 200 of us. They already took 200 of us. Imagine if we had no guns. You understand? Then it would have been way worse. And this is exactly what gun control is about. Gun control is about Edomites coming to slaughter us in our neighborhoods and us not being able to defend ourselves. And where do they get it from? They get it from these scriptures. You understand? They understand that who we are. These higher up Edomites, they understand exactly who we are. They know our culture, our heritage, our language. They understand we are the people from this book. We are God's dear chosen people. And they understand all these breakdowns that we got in the UPK. You understand? And they understand, look, I know how to deal with these niggas. We gonna go into these scriptures and deal with these niggas how their enemies deal with them back in the day. You understand? They done took a crafty counsel with us and they done used our own records against us. You understand? Salakia. Firearms made possible the civil rights movement of the 1950s and 1960s. Man, look, the civil rights movement was not a success whatsoever. You understand? But at the same time, it's still kind of, I don't want to say scared these Edomites, but it made the playing field even for us being able to defend ourselves because we got weapons. If we didn't have weapons, they wouldn't give a damn about the civil rights movement. You understand? And I'm going to talk about the Black Panthers in another article right after this. You understand? Because I'm in California. We in California out here, the gun laws is crazy. And it's a reason why the gun laws is crazy out here. You understand? Charles Cobb's excellent book, The Nonviolent Stuff Will Get You Killed, How Guns Made the Civil Rights Movement Possible, describes how pacifist community organizers from the North led to accept the armed protection of their Black rural communities, right? Salakia. Okay. And that's basically his book is basically about like basically having what having weapons and a defense system would actually do for a nation of people versus what would happen if you don't have a defense system. And this is literally what gun control is all about. It's about these Edomites trying to take defense away from us just so they can trample down on us and slaughter us whenever the hell they please. You understand? Just like these Philistines in the scriptures. They didn't allow no Smiths to be in our lands because they understood, once again, if these niggas got swords and weapons, they can put up a fight and defend themselves. You understand? The Deacons for Defense and Justice was an armed community defense organization founded in 1965 with 38 special revolvers and M1 carbines. They deterred terrorism in the Clan Country region of Louisiana and Mississippi when Dr. King led the Meredith March against fear for voter registration in Mississippi. The Deacons provided armed security. Man, look, niggas knew, look, these damn Edomites, they want to slaughter us. They want to kill us. This is how this country was built. We need legal firearms to be able to defend ourselves if need be, right? Condoleezza Rice became a self-described Second Amendment absolutist because of her experiences growing up in Birmingham. She recalled the bombings in the summer of 1963 when her father helped guard the streets at night. Had the civil rights workers' guns been registered, she argued, they could have been confiscated. So like it had the civil rights workers' guns been registered, she argued, they could have been confiscated, rendering the community defenseless, right? And I don't even want to get into Condoleezza Rice. Check out Officer Natazab's class about critical race theory, you understand? And you'll see how evil that broad is towards our people, you understand? But I'm gonna go ahead and drop that article and then I'm gonna get into this last article. Now, basically, all in all, what I just read in that article was, this is a tactic for Edomites and white supremacists alike to basically disarm Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans in this country so we can be defenseless to every atrocity that they want to commit against Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. This is literally the reason for gun control today, and it was the reason for weapon control back in the book of 1 Samuel. You understand? Right? Now, we're going to get into the next article, right? Well, this ain't really an article. This is on Wikipedia. It's called the Mulford Act, right? And I'm going to run down to you what the Mulford Act is, right? The Mulford Act was a 1967 California bill that repealed a law allowing public carrying of loaded firearms, right? Now, this was an act that basically took back the law that said you can carry a loaded firearm. Salakia. Named after Republican Assemblyman Don Mulford and signed into law by Governor of California Ronald Reagan. The bill was crafted with the goal of disarming members of the Black Panther Party who were conducting armed patrols of Oakland neighborhoods and what would later be termed cop watching, right? So they literally passed this act and eventually wrote it into law just to get guns out of niggas' hands to protect their people from white supremacy. You understand? And this story kind of hit home to me because I'm from Oakland. I've seen guns all my life. You understand? I've seen a lot of brothers get a lot of time for guns. You understand? And even before I came into the truth, I was curious on, okay, knowing the history of the Black Panthers, I was curious, like, well, damn, is the gun law so crazy in California because of the Panthers? And come to find out, when I did some research on it, it's actually true. They just do not want niggas with guns to defend their nation against white supremacists. You understand? They garnered national attention after Black Panthers members bearing arms marched upon the California state capitol to protest the bill. Now, these niggas got guns and went to Sacramento and marched up to the Capitol to protest this bill. You understand? That was eventually signed into law. And that sent shockwaves through the country. You mean to tell me it's niggas that know the law about obtaining guns and they're actually using these laws to basically intimidate us by showing us that they will defend their nation at any cost? Oh yeah, we got to stop these niggas. We have to stop these niggas. Let's get this bill passed right into the law so we can start taking these niggas to jail for these guns. You understand? Assembly Bill 1591 was introduced by Don Mofford from Oakland on April 5th, 1967, and subsequently co-sponsored by John T. Knox from Richmond, Walter J. Caribbean from Monterey Park, Frank Murphy Jr. from Santa Cruz, Alan Sorority, Salaki, I might have butchered his last name, from Los Angeles, and William M. Ketchum from Bakersfield. AB 1591 was made an urgency statute under Article Salakia, I ain't good with Roman numerals, of the Constitution of California after an organized band of men with loaded firearms entered the Capitol on May 2nd, 1967. As such, it requires a 2-3 majority in each house. It passed the Assembly controlled by Democrats 42-38, and subsequent readings passed by the Senate controlled by Democrats 2019 on July 26 by 29 votes to 7, and was signed by Governor Ronald Reagan on July 28, 1967. The law banned the carrying of loaded weapons in public. Right? So they did all of this to basically take these weapons out of these radical niggas' hands, because these niggas just might use them trying to defend their nation. You understand? Both Republicans and Democrats in California supported increased gun control, as did the National Rifle Association of America. Governor Ronald Reagan, who was coincidentally present on the Capitol line when the protesters arrived, later commented that he saw no reason why on the street today a citizen should be carrying loaded weapons, and that guns were a ridiculous way to solve problems that have to be ridiculous way to solve problems that have to be solved among people of goodwill. In a later press conference, Reagan added that the Mofford Act would work no hardship on the honest citizen. Man, look, this damn devil said, look, Guns ain't Salaki. Let me read that one more time. This is crazy. This is crazy. Salaki. Governor Ronald Reagan, who was coincidentally present on the Capitol lawn when the protesters arrived, and I bet you that damn devil was scared. You understand? Later commented that he saw no reason why on the street today a citizen should be carrying loaded weapons, and that guns were a ridiculous way to solve problems that have to be solved among people of goodwill. Now you heard this damn devil that said guns ain't a good way to solve problems. It's ridiculous. Should nobody on the streets be able to walk the streets with a loaded firearm? Man, these damn devils, bro, they is crazy. Ronald Reagan knows exactly what's going on with blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, how we're being oppressed by this damn government. You understand? What he really was saying was, yeah, you niggas shouldn't have guns because y'all know that y'all being oppressed. Y'all trying to defend your own people. And us in America, we don't stand for none of that. You niggas are slaves. Y'all supposed to be exactly where slaves are supposed to be. Go on and work for us, boy. Do whatever the hell you got to do to keep building up our country. But don't never think that you should be able to defend yourself and your nation. You understand? And that's essentially where your gun control comes from. It comes from a nation of people over the children of Israel, right? And the fact that they don't want you to be able to defend yourself and rise up above oppression. You understand? I'm going to go ahead and end it. This was another installment of Nothing New Under the Sun, gun control. Tune in with all the classes and on every channel. Subscribe to ISUBK, everything. East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, down south. Subscribe to Commander General Yohana's Black Watch. Subscribe to Ask You the Prophets. Man, look, subscribe to the ISUBK. You understand? We're going to be doing a lot of big things in the future. And make sure you stay tapped into these classes because we're going to try to bring out more and more information to intrigue the minds of blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans about history and understanding who you are as a people and understanding that there is nothing new under the sun. What happened in the past is happening today. With that being said, Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shah, Barak and Thumb to the brothers. Yahweh Shamar, Allah Thun Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shah to the sisters. Pay your tithes, Israel. Shalom.